Today I'm delighted to be able to share with you this magnificent pinball machine, which of course, as you can see, is Scooby Doo. I've even worn the matching t-shirt, which is manufactured by Spooky Pinball, and you can get this in the UK by visiting Pinball Heaven, who of course are the UK's largest pinball distributor. Certainly in modern times, I don't think we've ever had the luxury of as much choice in terms of purchasing a new pinball machine as we do now. There are so many available that it can often become a little bit of a minefield. So I'm going to try and steer you through what I think is good and what I think is bad about this pinball machine, and try and figure out where it stacks up and where it compares to some of the other games which are available on the market at the moment. I think the first thing I would say about this game is it's huge. This is a wide body, so this is wider than your standard pinball machine. And it needs to be, because there's not just one playfield on this game, there's a secondary playfield. And I think with a lot of games that have a secondary playfield, the upper playfield can feel a little bit gimmicky. Certainly not on this game. On this game, it's so vast, and they have the real proper size flippers rather than the smaller ones, that you actually feel that you're hitting real pinball shots. The targets are achievable. There's so many shots on the top of the playfield. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 shots at least on that upper playfield, which makes it sort of like a mini pinball machine in its own right. I've had this machine for perhaps a little over a month now, and this has become a firm favourite with my children. So make no mistake about it, this is a fun pinball machine aimed at, I think, a family audience. At about the same time, I got a Foo Fighters pinball machine, which of course is made by the manufacturer Stern, also available on Pinball Heaven. They're two very, very different games. I would never compare this with one of the Stern games, which you're going to enjoy if you're a better player. It's a lot more difficult. I have a lot of people coming over to this house who don't play pinball, so they just play pinball every time they come over here, once in a while. And I think that certainly Foo Fighters is not that kind if you don't have any flipper skills at all. So it's very fast, very, very fast game. This is totally different. This is a kind game. I've got two younger children in this house, and they both love this game, and it is a theme that really appeals to them. I would imagine if you were a sort of very, very good standard player, then this game would probably get old quite quickly. However, only today I've installed the latest code update, which has really sort of breathed new life into the game. And for those of you that don't know, when I say a code update, it's an addition to the software that makes the game have additional depth. There's additional modes, more animations on the screen, more audio call-outs. It just adds another layer to the game. And I've got to say, the update is a very, very good one. I think if I was going to compare this game to any other that's perhaps available on Pinball Heaven at the moment, I think what I would compare it to, just in terms of its scale, I think would be maybe a Jersey Jack pinball or something like that. Even though Toy Story wasn't as big as this, maybe I'd compare it to Toy Story. And actually, if you place them two together, there are similarities, but this is much, much better. And at the price point, particularly on this one, which is the collector's edition, there's not an awful lot to match it in terms of the amount of money that they've packed into this, because it's packed full of toys, of mechanisms, of a lot of love, really, that's gone into this game. You just feel that they, as I say, have made the very, very best pinball machine that they possibly could. There's also some innovation on this game as well, which we'll get onto in just a minute, because what I intend to do is, once I finish talking, you'll be pleased when that stops, is I'm going to take the camera off its tripod. I'll give you a little playfield tour, show you the cabinets, and then we'll have a little game so you can see a little bit of the gameplay. Certainly this is a game that's going to resonate to anybody, and is going to be nostalgic to anybody like myself, who's a certain vintage and grew up watching Scooby Doo. It was a little bit of a shock, actually, when my 9-year-old daughter didn't know who Scooby Doo was. I think I just assumed that they'd grown up with it as well. Of course, they haven't. So actually, this has made her go and watch some of the Scooby Doo cartoons. It is a very, very friendly game. The shots are not difficult at all. These are easy shots to do. However, the code is certainly deep enough that you're nowhere near completing this game. In fact, I was going to say you don't complete this game on every attempt. I haven't completed this game once. So there's a really good depth to this game. I do believe there's additional code updates which are to come, and I think they're going to certainly feature the characters, which you'll see in a minute when I show you the playfield. There's some really interesting ball paths on here as well, and what they've coded it very well in, there's genuine reason to get it up to that upper playfield. Sometimes, as I say, not only are upper playfields a bit of a gimmick, I find they're there just for the sake of being there. They really have incorporated the upper playfield incredibly well into the code and into the rules of the game on this one. So there's real reason for getting it up there. And because they feel like proper pinball shots, if you're skilled enough, you can actually keep it up there for quite a while. So it almost feels like there's two separate games. One of the reasons that maybe people wouldn't like this game is that huge upper playfield obscures the back of the lower playfield. So once the shots sort of disappear under this castle and this turret, which I'll give you a closer look at in a second, you can't see the path of the ball. It's not something that ever really bothered me because my first pinball machine was Popeye, and for those of you that are familiar with Popeye, that does exactly the same thing. So I was always very used to the ball disappearing and not being able to see it. But it doesn't trick you. It's not going to make a surprise ball path and surprise you. So that's really nice. The innovation on the just by the flippers with these two ball locks is nothing short of amazing. And I've got to say that the attention to detail and some of the modelling on this game is really second to none. And when you look at some of the games that are available, and I talk about choice at the moment, if you just were to look on the Pinball Heaven website, for instance, you have games like Alien, you've got all the Stern games, of course, you've got the Jersey Jack games, you've got Legends of Valhalla, all the American pinball stuff as well. There's so many games to choose from, but I would say that this is actually a viable option. That wasn't anything that I was expecting. I do think they've sort of steered away from some of the stuff they have been doing spooky, because Total Nuclear Annihilation is a wonderful game as well, which of course is also available on the website, as is Halloween. But this is a very, very different game to Halloween. This is very child-friendly. You certainly wouldn't want your children to be playing Halloween. It would, of course, give them nightmares. I think if I had to choose between the two, you'd be making two very, very different decisions. Personally, I probably would take Halloween. I've been more and more impressed the more I've played it. I think it has a generous size of shots, but actually the code and again the upper playfields don't feel gimmicky at all. There's enough there to probably keep you interested for longer than Scooby Doo will. But there's just no way that you can really have Halloween inside your house. So I think, paradoxically, Halloween wouldn't get played as much. I think the fact that the kids like this game means that the game gets switched on an awful lot, which in turn means you end up playing more pinball. And for those of you with young kids will know it's not always the easiest thing in the world to get children to play pinball, because you're always competing with things like iPads and different technology and whatnot. Anyway, I've waffled on for too long now. Let's take the camera off its perch. Let's take you a little tour around the playfield and the cabinet. Okay, let's take a closer look at this fantastic machine. Now, one thing I didn't discuss was, of course, the topper, which is on this collector's edition, which you can just see there. I've seen better toppers. It's quite a basic topper, but then again, it doesn't cost you £1,500 like some of them, so it just comes included with it. This is collector's edition 0018, and first of all, you can see, I think that's a pretty cool back glass there. So the artwork on this, I think, is great, and why wouldn't it be? It's Scooby Doo. They've got an awful lot of brilliant assets to work with here. I'll just show you on the side of the back box. Again, you know, some of your favourite characters feature in the game. Well, all of your favourite characters feature in the game, never mind some of them. One thing I did want to show you was, can you see the hinge on the back box there? It's fantastic. It's actually, I guess that's lasered out into the metal. It's amazing. I think it's really, really good. A lovely touch. Lovely bit of attention to detail there. just looking at the cabinet itself, I think it's stunning. I really do. This is an amazing looking pinball machine, quite striking. Everybody says that, anybody that's sort of come round to see it. Again, you can see the side armour. It's just really, really nicely done. They don't have to do it like that, but you know what? On these top level games, I think it's really good too. And you know what? At less, and I know these are obviously ridiculous amounts of money, but when you think that this is the top level game at sort of £3,000 less than the top level Godfather from Jersey Jack Pinball, this does become a real option. Just show you the front of the cabinet quickly, and the coin door. One of the first things I love is this Scooby Doo dog tag there, which you'll all be familiar with if you know the cartoon. It's actually a lovely bit of powder coating on it. Got an action button on it here. Now, I think there is a really nice mode with that action button. I think they can do a lot more with it, and I'm pretty sure that they will code that in there. I'm quite sure of that. So the code updates will bring more to the game. I think the first thing we'll start with on the playfield, you can see these two lights here. They both say ball lock. The ball actually comes down this wire form and locks in here. A magnet will hold the ball in position just there, and it'll also do so on the other sides. Now, the route to get this ball to lock in here is by knocking down these targets, and just behind those targets, maybe I'll be able to show you, so there's a double bank of targets. You might see once those have been knocked down, you see there's a little scoop in there. Once you get it through there, it will then jump up, a vertical up kicker, go along this wire form and lodge in there. That's just one of the three multi-balls I've played anyway. Again, I'm sure they're going to code more. Two outlanes, which you can see there. But I mean, you're going to get that. It's really hard on camera to really state how big this game is. So it's not just the width of the playfield itself, which is significantly wider on a wide body. Even the width of that back box is actually 20mm wider than my Stern game. I know that because I measured it earlier. These are your characters here, and then here are your modes, which are your mysteries. Now, the game itself, the premise of the game is you have to collect clues to initiate a mystery, and you have to solve the mystery. The mysteries are the modes. The clues are the shots you'll need to make to allow you to start the mode. We'll get onto the upper playfield in a minute. I just want to show you sort of everything that's down here first. I think the first thing to say is, if we look here, all these 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these wire forms are all powder coated in a different colour. They're high gloss. There's sparkle in them, so that they're the glossy. They've got a beautiful glossy finish on them. They actually do look stunning. In many respects, actually, it doesn't look dissimilar to a Wonka in that sense, which I think is another stunning pinball machine. They go the extra mile. They really do. So this dude here, Scooby Doo in the barrel, that's actually animated. So he actually jumps up and down in there. Hopefully you can see him within there. Then what they've done is that's the miner, who's it's one of the modes there, who's chasing Scooby Doo in one of those mine carts, as you can see. And of course you have the mystery machine, hopefully very familiar to many of you who enjoyed the cartoon and loved the cartoon. Again, it's not a flat bit of plastic, it's a proper model that's really, really well made. A lot of you remember this dude here. He's from one of the modes. I can't remember his name, but the mode on the roller coaster. And I've even positioned him well because this is actually the mode here, which you can see on the arc blades. The shots themselves, if I get the camera right underneath there, So from right to left, so right of the mystery machine, or the van as I like to call it, you've got an orbit, but it's not an orbit. It will not orbit all the way around. It takes a different route. Then you've got a spinner shot. That's where you start your modes underneath the mystery machine. Another shot to the left of it. That middle shot that you're seeing right centre of camera now, where you can see it says there's an arrow and it says Scooby Doo, where are you? Would have gotten away with it. That is your route up to the upper playfield, which we'll get to in a second. We have another, again, it's an orbit sort of diverter, the next shot to the left, then another spinner, and then finally another shot there. It's worth saying that this spinner here on the left does actually loop the shot up and into that green wire form, which comes back round to the flipper. There are a lot of shots on this game, but as I say, it's a very, very big game. Now let's get to this upper playfield, which is monstrous, quite frankly. Again, you've got another good model here. Now, a lot of this stuff, which you'll see, I should probably point out, you may well see some glowing lanterns on it. It's worth me saying that the glowing lanterns don't actually come with the game. They are a modification, they're an update, which has been made by Stumblor Pinball. But you can get those, go and check those out on his website. You'll also see up the top what looks like one flipper, but there's actually two. What they've done with this one is they've, again, in keeping with one of the modes, it's inside a bookcase, but it is, I can assure you, a proper bona fide flipper in there. And this is what I mean. You can actually play normal pinball shots. Where this one becomes interesting is not only can you hit the ball off of this flipper, you can actually almost whack it off of there to hit it on one of the shots which go under here. We'll get to that in a second. You've got the diver's helmet and the two hands. These move. These are animated. There wasn't really any need for them to do that, but they did it anyway. There's a really cool multi-ball up here. You can probably see it by there. It's actually reasonably easy to achieve. It's not too difficult. Nothing on this game is too difficult, although I'm probably going to demonstrate otherwise when you see me try and play it. On the right-hand side there, you'll see Airfield, Goldmine City. Three shots just there alone. There's also another target, which you probably can't see, which is just down here. There's another target under there. A target just by the the left hand of the diver. Basically two targets either side of the diver. Or, when it loops up, if you don't actually catch it on the book and flip it back in, the ball will just travel down here and travel all the way down that blue wire form there. This is a really cool game. It's a very, very cool game. The screen itself, well, you know, I mean, there's lots of these screens these days, aren't they? I guess it's a standard LCD screen. The Scooby Doo speaker cutout's great. He's being chased by the mummy on the other side. If I had one minor criticism, probably could have decorated this a little bit more. It's quite a plain green, but you know what? It's I still think it looks pretty cool, and certainly keeps with the theme of the game. It's a lot of game. There is a lot of pinball machine here, and when you compare it to some of the other games, then in terms of value and in terms of price, this one comes up quite favourably. As I say, possibly not a game for your expert player, but as a family game, it's an outstanding pinball machine. Okay, I've pressed start. On the screen, you'll see it allows me to scroll through players. Scooby Doo, for instance, has 2 scoring bonuses. Selecting Shaggy gives you a bonus for combo shots. Each character has their own sort of scoring preferences and reasons for selecting them, which allow you to plot a slightly different path through the game. I'm going to actually choose Daphne for the pure and simple reason is I've never chosen Daphne before. Not sure why. There we go. So we will select Daphne, and the first thing I've got to do is find 2 clues. It says investigate on the left hand side. It wants me to hit 2 white shots. Got a skill shot there, which I'm very happy with. So I've got my 2 clues, and now I've got to hit, if you remember that van shot, which is the mystery machine, which, funnily enough, I find the hardest shot in the game, but that's the gateway to the game. That's how you start your modes. So I've hit that there, and what that's going to do is going to initiate, if you can see on here, I've got a ball locked, but it's also going to initiate the first mode. Now, if you can see the top of the playfield, there's a lot of things flashing there, so it wants me to get it up to the top of the playfield here, which I'm going to be happy to do. Oh, I say I'm going to be happy to do it. Being happy to do it and doing it are clearly two very different things. Okay, it's up there now, so it wants me to hit these green shots. That's one of them I've hit up there. I'm going to try and get it back up the top again. So I've hit a couple of shots there. It's now giving me some red shots on the playfield, which is good. Let me get it back up to the top as well. So what I'm doing here is by getting more oxygen by hitting these, I'm extending my time on the mode, but I was actually just seeing if I could get a multi-ball while I was up there, which would have helped me with the mode. You can see here the ball, I hope you can see that, the ball is actually locked there, so ball one locked, which is really cool. That's a really cool feature. Oh, that's tight. Okay, so investigate 4 out of 6. I need 2 more shots to complete the mode. So that's one of them there. One more, you can probably see what it is. It's a spinner on the left-hand side. Oh, that was not it. That's not it either. Not doing too well here. That's it. Oh, I think I've got to get more oxygen, so I've got to hit the diver again. I didn't want to do that. Oh no, that wasn't cool. So basically what I've got to do is get it back up to the top of that playfield to get that red shot back again. I can't complete the mode as I do that. Okay, so the red shot's now appeared. Hopefully you can see it. So I've got to hit the diver again. Hopefully that should give me enough. So I've got 2 balls locked now. Oh no, but I hadn't have a ball lock. That'll teach me to take my hands off of it. There's quite a lot going on, as you can see. But I really need to hit that shot. It's giving me the hurry up now. No, oh dear. Did I get it? I got it. Okay, so I've just got to hit that mystery machine. I've done it. I actually completed a mode there. 6 out of 6. That's the, you can hear a sort of rumbling in the background. That's the shaker motor. So I got the mode. There we go. I won. So really pleased about that. It'll be really good to show you a multi-ball. Okay, so I've got another mystery here. That's ball 2 locked. So I've actually got a multi-ball ready to go there. Not ready to go. I've got to get 1 more ball locked in there. And I've got another ball that can be locked here. There's also another multi-ball up the top playfield. This is a really, really tough one, this. Because it's, as you can see, it wants me to hit 10 shots, which is not easy. Is this going to lock in there? No. So actually, rather than playing the mode here, what I'm going to try and do is try and get it back up to that upper playfield, because I know if I get it down that, this is the one to get a multi-ball. Oh, I haven't got the ball lock ready yet though, which is a real shame. So I've got 2 out of 10 mysteries completed. Oh, that's a middle shot I need. It's funny, you know, what are normally quite easy shots, it sort of makes you nervous and you become worse at it. So I've got 5 out of 10.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh my words. That was actually very, very, very lucky, that one. So I've got 8 out of 10 here. Now this is a very, very hard mode because you can probably see there's one left here and there's actually one left up there, which is really difficult to get. Oh, that's close. That is close. Yes, I actually got it. So it's just, that's Scooby Snacks. I've actually locked both of them. Hopefully you can see that both balls are locked on there, and I've started a multi-ball, which I'm hoping will really help me on this. Oh, I've just got that one far left shot, which we'd normally call a left orbit, but it's not really a left orbit on this game, because it won't orbit all the way around. Oh, it's annoyingly close. So again, I'm very close to completing my second mode. Try and give it a little nudge. Oh! As you can tell, I'm quite enjoying this. No, it's a little bit further on than that. No, that's absolutely my own fault. I was one shot off of completing that mode.
Shots qualify a mystery.
Oh, it's quite annoying. Anyway. You can see the progress I'm making here though. Skill shot there. And you've seen one multi-ball. Stacked sandwich filling. I've never seen that mode before. That's obviously part of the code update. I've never seen that thing. Oh, that's my own silly fault. That's my own silly fault. Just let that sort of trickle off the end of the flipper.
What shots to start a case?
I'm hoping that's ball lock 3. No, it's not. That's pretty annoying. I wanted that to be another multi-ball because I think that's a really good multi-ball, that one. That plays the Scooby Doo theme tune. Oh no! Oh dear. Oh, what a shame. That actually started off being a really, really good game. There you have it. I'm going to put in my initials. Now, if you want to, you can set this game. That was a 3-ball game. You can set it to be 4-ball, should you wish. But 5-ball, 6-ball if you want. But there you go. Gets me 4th place on the scoreboard. As you see, it's pretty cool. And there you have it. Scooby Doo by Spooky Pinball. Delivered to you. We've got to purchase it first. From Pinball Heaven, the UK's largest pinball distributor. Right, I'm going to get this packed down now because it's going to Pinfest.